Good morning, math warriors. Okay, so for just a minute, we're going to review something that we talked about when we were still in school. And we talked about the commutative property of multiplication quite a bit. And if you recall, this is what it means. The factors in a multiplication problem, it doesn't matter if you change the order from 3 times 5 to 5 times 3, the answer stays the same. So it doesn't matter what order the factors are in, the product will be the same. So 3 times 5 is 50. Ooh, look at that craziness down there. 3 times 5 is 15. And 5 times 3 is still 15. It doesn't matter what order the factors are in. Okay? So now, if we get rid of all this real quick, I'm going to tell you about a new property of multiplication. The new property of multiplication is called the associative property of multiplication. Associative. And basically, it's the same thing as commutative property, except now we're going to change the order of 3 factors. Today, we're going to have 3 factors in a multiplication problem instead of just 2. But the meaning is the same. It doesn't matter what order the factors are in. The answer is the same. The product will be the same. So let's try this one. Now you remember that we have to do multiplication inside the parentheses first. So 3 times 5 is 15. And 15 times 2 is 30. Correct? Now over here, I just moved the parentheses. So here I have 3 times 5 in the parentheses and the 2 is outside. Over here, the 3 is outside and 5 and 2 are inside the parentheses. But it's the same 3 factors, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2. I just moved the parentheses. But let's see what happens. 5 times 2 is 10. And 3 times 10 is 30. Look. The answer stays the same. Now down here at the bottom, I didn't just move the parentheses, I switched the numbers around. I changed the order. I still have a 3, a 5, and a 2, but I changed the order. Let's see what happens. 2 times 3 is 6, and 5 times 6 is 30. So you see, no matter what we do, the answer remains the same. This is the associative property of multiplication. All right, so let's get rid of this real quick, and then we can look at the pages. You guys need to open up your workbooks to Chapter 9, Lesson 4, and then we're going to answer that really quickly. All right, so here we go. The associative property of multiplication states that the grouping of factors does not change the product. The answer remains the same. So here we have Chris and Katie. They each received 4 smiley stickers a week for 3 weeks. So we have 2 children that each received 4 smiley stickers per week for 3 weeks in a row. How many stickers did they all get together? So Chris and Katie make 2 people times 3 weeks times 4 stickers. So they did the same thing here that I just showed you. 2 times 3 is 6. You drop the 4. 6 times 4 is 24. And here they changed the parentheses. They moved the parentheses over. They dropped the 2. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. The answer remains the same. Either way, 2 times 3 times 4 is 24. The associative property shows that grouping does not change the product. It doesn't matter the order or how it is grouped. The product stays the same. All right, now we have Cheryl, who has 2 photos. Each photo shows 5 friends holding the same number of flowers. There are 30 flowers altogether. How many flowers is each friend holding? So this one gives us the answer. It told us that there's 30 flowers altogether. That's the answer. We know that there are 2 photos and 5 friends. We just don't know how many flowers they're holding. So if we do the multiplication in the beginning, we know that 2 times 5 equals 10. Then we have to say, and we know the answer is 30. So we're going to say 10 times what equals 30? 10 times what equals 30? We could do inverse operations and say 30 divided by 10 equals what? But I think it's easier in my head to say 10 times what equals 30? The answer to that is 3. 10 times 3 equals 30. So 2 times 5 times 3 equals 30, which is the problem we just did a minute ago. Each friend is holding 3 flowers. Same problem we did. Isn't that funny? All right, so let's go down here and we'll start our practice questions. 2 times 4 times 6. So I'm going to put the 2 and the 4 in the parentheses, and I'll put the 6 out here, outside. 2 times 4 is 8, and I drop the 6 down. 8 times 6 is 48. All right, here I'll put the 4 outside of the parentheses, but I'll put the 2 and the 3 inside the parentheses. So we have 2 times 3 is 6. Drop the 4 down. 4 times 6 is 24. All right, number 3. So now this time they want us to figure out what one of the factors is. We know the answer is 30. 2 times 3 is 6. We know the answer is 30, so we drop down the answer is 30. We need to find out the unknown right here. So 6 times what equals 30? 6 times what equals 30? Well, I could say 30 divided by 6 equals, but for me, it's just easier. I just know that 6 times 5 equals 30. 5 times 6 equals 30, so the unknown is 5 in this problem. The missing factor was a 5 in this problem. All right, guys, you're going to go ahead on and you're going to do pages 521 and 522 on your own, and I will send you the answers at the end of the week. On Wednesday, I promise to have a new video with a surprise on the end. All right, guys, good luck.